Hare Krishna Prabhujis and Matajis. First of all, thank you to Balgo and Prabhuji for giving me this opportunity to speak here today. Secondly, if I make any mistakes during the lecture, please forgive me. So let us start this lecture with the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is the part 3 of our Ramayana series, and the title for today's lecture is A Reckless Request. So first of all, although it is belated Happy Ram Navami, so now let us understand our location on the map. So we have started all the way from here at Ayodhya, and we came to Prayagraj and Chitrakoot in the first years of the exile. Now, in the later years, the later 2-3 years of the exile, after Dandakaranya, we came down to Dandakaranya towards the east of India. Now we are going all the way to Maharashtra to a place called Panchavati, and later it is renowned as Nashik, and we will find out why it is called as Nashik very soon. And so now we are from the east to the west. We're going from the east to the west of India. And then later in the next class, we will move on to the south. So today's lecture is basically based on the Aranya Kanda of Valmiki Ramayana. So this is the third part, the third Kanda of Valmiki Ramayana. So we have already known the Dandakaranya region. So Hyderabad is here. So slightly above Hyderabad, the entire region is called Dandakaranya, and this is the forest where Lord Rama, Lakshman and Mother Sita, they resided for most of their exile. So this Dandakaranya forest, it actually had a meaning. Dandakaranya actually means the forest of Danda. So there was actually a king, and his name is Danda. And this King Danda, he was actually one of the sons of the Solar dynasty, that is Ishwaku's dynasty. So he was actually an emperor of the world, but he was the youngest of the three sons. So out of these three sons, the first two were very obedient to their father, but Danda, he never used to care for this Ayodhya kingdom or anything like that, because it was all controlled by his father and his two big brothers. So he didn't get really much participation in this. So he actually performed some bad activities, and he got kicked out of the kingdom. He got exiled out of the kingdom, banished from the kingdom, basically. So at this time, Danda, he had a very bad mindset, and he decided to side with Shukracharya, who is actually the guru of the demons. Now, Shukracharya, he actually had some past story. That's why he became the guru of the demons. There was actually a sage named Angirasa. So the sage Angirasa, he was actually the father of Brihaspati. So Brihaspati is the current guru of the demigods. So during the start of the universe, during the creation, during the first periods of the universe when Swayambhuva Manu, they were just starting the progeny of and starting the population in the world. At that time, there was a need for a guru for the demigods, for all the demigods. There were so many demigods, right? So there was a requirement for a guru for these demigods. So these demigods, they actually had two suitable gurus. One of them was Brihaspati, who was actually sage Angirasha's son, and the second was actually Shukracharya. So out of Shukracharya and Brihaspati, Shukracharya was more qualified, and he was obviously the better pick for the demigods, because the demigods could get very powerful because of Shukracharya's mantras and his tapobola and his penance. But for sage Angirasha, he was actually the one deciding who would be the guru of the demons. So sage Angirasha was overpowered by maternal affection and love, and he kept his family bonds in the way, and he he actually put Brihaspati, who was his own son, for the guru of the demigods. So he actually did injustice to Shukracharya, although Shukracharya was more qualified. But later on, we understand that Shukracharya also had many faults, and in his behavior, he was not suitable for the guru of the demigods because he was always having a demonic mindset. So after sage Angirasha did this injustice to Shukracharya, Shukracharya, he wanted revenge. So he went and sided with the greatest enemies of the demigods, who were actually the Adaityas or demons. So Shukracharya, he in turn became the guru of the demigods, and it was only because of Shukracharya that the demons got anywhere near or close to being able to defeat the demigods. So even King Danda, who had a demonic mindset, he actually went to Shukracharya because he had a demonic mindset. So he was on the pretense of joining the demons. So King Danda was very powerful. Even before, he was really powerful. But the thing is, he always had a bad instinct, King Danda, and this was actually the hunter instinct. So whenever he saw something beautiful or whenever he saw an animal, he immediately went and ravished it. Here, suppose like shooting an arrow and killing it. So this time there was actually this time the King Danda, he actually went on a hunting expedition, and he was looking through the forests and looking for anything in order to kill. And so as a hunter fashion, anyone would do the same and kill someone. So King Danda, he was actually looking here and there, and then he finally came to a river. And at this river, he actually saw a beautiful woman. And this beautiful woman, who was actually none other than the the daughter of Shukracharya, and her name was Araja. So Araja was a very beautiful woman, and King Danda, he was overpowered by this, and he ravished her. So by this, Shukracharya got very angry. So the problem with Shukracharya is that he actually didn't inspire people. He just impressed people. So there's a difference between impressing and inspiring. Impressing is just making them impressed, making them look up at you and make them just follow you, but make them follow you blindly. But inspiring, on the other hand, is different. Inspiring someone to do something good and actually follow the principles and do everything properly. This was the fault of Shukracharya, and he couldn't teach any of his demon disciples like this, and that's why they were never able to overpower the demigods. may it be because of Lord Vishnu or any other powerful source like Lord Shiva or Brahma, there was always something that came as an obstacle for the demons. And this was because they didn't have a proper guru with a mindset. This guru was always bent upon impressing people and not inspiring the people. Just impressing someone will be shook with fear and they'll come to you. But inspiring someone, they will come and stand next to you and they will fight strong. So this is what Shukracharya couldn't do. And this is why such a demonic mindset and everything had come to all the demons. So, so actually, so that is why Shukracharya actually he let out a curse that as that he would leave this forest immediately. This forest, it was not actually a forest before; it was the kingdom of Danda. So this kingdom of Danda, it was more opulent than Ayodhya itself, the ruling city at that time. So this King Danda, as soon as Shukracharya had uttered this verse, it had burst into flames and everything became forest. And yeah, that's how basically it happened. So this forest, it reminds us how we should not deviate from our principles and keep our mind straight while doing anything. So after this, Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita, they actually encountered a demon. And this demon's name was Virada. So by now, Rama and Lakshmana, they've understood that pretty much every demon or any demon or anything like that had a hidden story behind. So this demon, it actually had a benediction from Brahma that he actually had the power of like many thousands and thousands of elephants. So he could crush anybody easily, and his name was Virada. So Virada actually he snatched Sita and was running away quickly. And then he actually asked these Rama and Lakshmana, who were dressed as Aztecs, with such powerful muscles and bows and the six pack, why are you on this disguise of an Aztec? So then Rama and Lakshman, they actually informed of what actually happened to them, and um, they actually kept on giving volleys of arrows, and finally they were able to overpower him. So uh, then, as soon as they actually slashed him with the arrows, Virada he actually changed suddenly. He back to his real senses. So then Rama and Lakshmana, they let down their bows, they put down their bows and were interested in hearing what actually happened to Virada and why he came to such a terrible form. So Virada informed that he was actually Tumburu, who was actually a very beautiful Gandharva. So he actually, so all the Gandharvas, Yakshas, and all of them, they submit to Lord Kuvera, who was actually the treasurer of the demigods. So this Gandharva named Tumburu, who was actually one of the most beautiful Gandharvas, he was actually also submissive. He should actually submit to Kuvera too. So anything that his guru had ordered, it had to be done right away, and there should be no delay in that. So this is the mistake that Tumburu did. He was actually captivated by Ramba, and he neglected his guru's orders. So because of this, Kuvera actually let out a curse, and after constant pleading, Tumbru had been able to cap the curse to a specific time where Lord Rama would come and liberate him. So after this, after meeting Virada, they actually came to a hermitage, an ashram, and this was of Rishi Sharabanga. So right outside this ashram, they actually Rama and Lakshmana and Sita, they actually saw Lord Indra's chariot outside the ashram. So the king of the demigods was visiting this ashram. So, but the Lord's, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, were there himself. But Indra chose not to notice, pretended not to notice, and just took off in his chariot back to hiding, because at that time they were all hiding under they were all hiding because of fear from Ravana. So as soon as Lord Rama and Lakshmana, they actually entered Sharabanga Rishi's ashram. Sharabanga Rishi, he actually fell prostrate in Dandavat, and he actually gave all of his tapobola to Lord Rama. So then Lord Rama instructed a good lesson here. So he told that I am a Kshatriya, and it is not my nature for me to accept charity. Rather, I am the one who gives charity. So, based on this, Lord Rama told Sharabanga Rishi that I cannot take your tapobola or austerities as a charity. So then Sharabanga Rishi, he understood his folly here, because he was giving something to Lord Rama and expecting him to accept it. But rather, this is not the way how it works. It's rather the opposite. So just love and devotion, and you'll get the fruits, basically. So then Lord Rama, he actually had an inquisitive thought, and he actually asked Sharbang Rishi, was that really Indra who had actually come by before? So Indra had actually came to give the fruits of Sharbanga Rishi's benediction, and Indra offered the life in the highest planet, Brahmalok, or any other Satyalok, or any planet there. But Sharbanga Rishi, he actually refused, because he knew he was an intelligent person. He knew, but after his piety and his austerities had completed, he would come down from Indralok or Brahmalok or anywhere like that, and he would come back into the material world. And this entire thing, even the heavenly planets, was considered the material world. So he actually asked for the spiritual world, a spiritual form. But of course, Lord Indra, he couldn't give such a benediction. So finally, after Sarbang Rishi fully submitted and surrendered to Lord Rama, Sarbang Rishi, before giving up his body and attaining a spiritual form, he actually gave one last instruction to Lord Rama. He actually gave some directions to Lord Rama in order to go to some place. So finally, after following these directions, they actually came to a huge ground of many rishis and sages. So all of these sages, as soon as they saw Lord Rama, they couldn't control their words. They were in no way being able to speak. So they let out. They told something. He here is. So obviously this is grammatically wrong, because it's supposed to be he is here, but because of their excitement and wonder, and they were startled by Lord Rama's beauty, because of that, they couldn't get together their words properly. And they kept saying, he here is, we're saved, saved, saved. They said so many things like that, because these were the same rishis that were under torture by so many demons in this forest for so long. And finally, Lord Rama, who had actually, Lord Rama, he actually finally had came to save to save all of these rishis, because so all of these sages, they actually gave out their concerns and what all troubles the demons had been giving them through these past years. And Lord Rama understood and saw this as a very serious matter. So here, so Lord Rama, he actually said something very interesting and astonishing, because it's not every day that someone vows to annihilate all the demons on this planet. So this was the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he basically promised all the sages that he would get rid of all the demons on this faith on the face of the earth. So this was actually the all the rishis, they were really happy about this, but there was only one person who was really unhappy and worried, and this was Mother Sita, because uh, seeing this, there were so many dangerous demons, and after the Virada encounter, she was rather frightened and startled because of that. Now she started worrying a lot for the safety, Lord Rama's safety. So among this, Sita, she really felt doubtful about this, and she actually decided to go to a separate place to go when only Rama and Mother Sita, they were together. Mother Sita, this was not like the usual atmosphere where they used to just sit together on the tree or something and just talk together. This time, Lord Rama could sense that Mother Sita actually had some question to ask. And Mother Sita basically told that it is the duty of a Kshatriya to fight. And but he should not fight unless provoked. So Mother Sita questioned Rama with respect, of course, and said, "Why have you taken such a harsh vow to annihilate the demons? Such a show of violence is not good, and it could ruin the character." So this was Mother Sita's question, and it's been a lot. I mean, it's been around 12 years since it's been around it's been around 9 years since she last asked a question to Lord Rama. Since then, Mother Sita, she just used to follow Rama blindly, and just because Lord Rama was Lord Rama, so he was the supreme God. So Mother Sita didn't have any questions. But this time, because uh, she was raised in a good family by Janak Maharaj, because of that, it has she understood her duty as a wife. When the husband is straying from the path of dharma, when they're doing something wrong or something that the wife feels wrong, then it is the wife's duty in order to in order to stop the husband, stop him right there, because there won't be any personal feelings between the wife and husband, between the couple. So the wife's duty is to stop the husband from doing something wrong and correct him. So this was exactly what Mother Sita was actually showing to the whole world. And this Mother Sita actually sets an example here by even correcting Lord Rama. So Lord Rama, he actually had his own counterpoints for this and everything like that, because and he actually had the he actually could have told one thing that could have stopped Sita's argument completely. But Lord Rama, he actually had respect for Mother Sita, and wanted her to give her opinion on this, and wanted her to engage in such activity which would ultimately lead to progress in life. So there was actually one point that Lord Rama could have actually told, because during the exile period, uh, they were actually told not to go into they were actually supposed to be the kings, the king and queen. So they were during the exile period, they were banished from the kingdom for 13 years, 14 years, sorry. And they were actually told one thing. And that one thing is that they should not enter the kingdom of Ayodhya. So they were technically, Bharat Maharaj was the king of Ayodhya, although he did not choose to be. He kept the sandals of Lord Rama in the place of the in the place of the throne. So basically, Lord Rama, he actually had one duty, and that was actually protecting the all the inhabitants of all the forests where Bharat Maharaj and he actually had the job of annihilating all the demonic forces in the forest. So this was actually what uh, Lord Rama could have told Mother Sita, but then Mother Sita gave another strong argument. So by taking such a terrible oath or vow, does it mean that you are just trying to prove something to me, proving your? So Lord Rama, he seemed adamant on this vow and annihilating the demons. So Mother Sita went to the extent where she was talking about the duty of the husband to protect the wife, not the ability to do so with in the Virada encounter and some other encounters before. Till now, Lord Rama, he never got an chance to prove to Sita, to Mother Sita, that he was actually a worthy husband to her. So this was actually the second time that Mother Sita had said something like this. Because 10 years ago, no, 11 years ago, 11 years ago, before the exile, Mother Sita had also poured the same questions like this. She kept targeting and ruthlessly giving arguments, having debating with Lord Rama in order to let him actually come with him to the exile. So Mother Sita, she actually went to a point where she was questioning the manliness of Lord Rama and his ability to protect the husband at that time. So Mother Sita, she actually extended this argument based on this. So Lord Rama, he actually had the answer to these points, and respectfully, um, he actually gave the right answer to this. And the sages, the sages, they were at this time. The sages, they also came and overheard the discussion, and quickly they were talking about something else. So they were eavesdropping actually. So while they were eavesdropping, they were actually talking about a jewel, a very super sage. Basically, you can call him a super sage, and this sage was the none other than Agastya Muni. So several times, Agastya Muni had proven uh, to be a very great sage, we could say. So this sage Agastya Muni, so the Lord Rama was very bent upon meeting such a sage who could add, and they actually had countless stories of Agastya Muni which proved his greatness. And the first thing is um, the first and most important one, probably. So, Agastya Muni was, these are the stories of Agastya Muni. So, the first story was basically when he was actually walking in the forest, just his normal walk in the forest. And then he actually heard something. He actually heard, save us, save us. So these two words he actually had captivated him. So then Agastya Muni, he was a sage, so he could trace the trace the location of this sound, where it was actually coming from. And he actually traced its location, and he found there were dead corpses which were hanging to a tree and they were talking. So Agastya Muni, he asked what the corpses wanted. They actually told that we are in this state because of you. You have done such a wrong to us. So Agastya Muni here was actually very surprised here, because he had never performed any bad karmic action in his life before. So at this time, the the corpses had actually given two options to him. Either he completely submits to Lord Krishna and attains the spiritual world, attains liberation. Or the second option, which is the easier option, is to continue the family tree, because these were actually the corpses which were actually Agastya Muni's, they were actually his forefathers. So by not having a continuing, not having a heir to the family, it was actually an offense. So it was actually a sin for the forefathers. So it was so the second option was basically marrying and having a son to continue the family. So Agastya Muni, he knew of the power that he had. He was a super sage, and he could basically do anything that he wanted. He could drink up an ocean or do anything like that. So I'm foreshadowing. That's foreshadowing. So he could drink up an ocean, and he could make a river or anything like that. And he knew that the wife needed to be a person who could handle such great power and be able to correct and keep the power in hold, not to use for demonic purposes. So Agastya Muni, he immediately went into meditation, and he started scanning the whole world for perfect world. So then he actually saw a baby. He actually made a baby called Lopamudra. So this baby was perfect in every way, and he actually went to a kingdom, and he actually went to this king, because the king of this kingdom, actually he did not have any child. So he was doing constant austerities after austerities in order to beget a child, an heir to the kingdom, because a kingdom without a son without a daughter is basically a useless kingdom, because there's no one to rule for the next phase of the kingdom, next generation of the kingdom. So this was very important for the king, and so Agastya Muni decided to bless this king with Lopamudra, and Agastya Muni gave this baby Lopamudra to the king, and he actually told within 1 week that Lopamudra would actually transform into maturity, would actually attain maturity. And in this 1 week, Agastya Muni would come back and seek for marriage of Lopamudra. So although the king did not get what he desired, completely what he desired, like a son, and he couldn't enjoy the childhood moments uh, of his daughter for long, it was still yet someone which the king could care for. So at this time, Agastya Muni, he actually came back for the hand of Lopamudra, and then the king and the Agastya Muni, they decided that it should be first of the approval of the girl before taking for marriage. So Lopamudra, she immediately told that she wanted to be uh, the wife of Agastya Muni, and they would travel throughout the world while doing austerities and benefiting the mankind. So this was exactly what took place, and during this time, Agastya Muni was adamant on begetting a son through Lopamudra, because he wanted to save the corpses out of their misery. So Lopamudra, she actually set one condition here, because she actually wanted to be treated as a queen. She wanted a huge palace or something, anything like that. So Agastya Muni, he was in a fixate, because he needed money here. So he actually went to a nearby kingdom, and the king of this kingdom, uh, yeah, so the king of this kingdom actually he actually had perfect accounts in his kingdom. So there was not a single penny which was not used, which was kept in the treasury. So by this, they understood this. So this king's name was actually King Shrutavan. So this was not Shrutawan, he could take out from his accounts and give money to the sage, give charity to the sage, but the sage had a weird way of accepting the money. So, but he actually wanted the money. Agassimani needed the money, but he was not willing to step in anything in the kingdom's manners or anything, like in order to frustrate someone else's plans. So, after seeing this, the King Shrutawan, he actually showed the accounts of the kingdom to this to Agastya Muni, and Agastya Muni was very impressed that each and every penny it was being used for the kingdom and for the people. So all the taxes which the people paid, it was all made on it was all made for the people. So as we can see, tax money at work. At present day, we cannot find a single country that uses all of the money it gets from taxes in order for the people's welfare. If all the countries had done that, then we would probably be in flying cars or something like that. So this is what something a country should inculcate, or at least try to inculcate in them, by putting more and more of their tax money to work, and instead and not keeping the politicians, keeping them rich and keeping them in so many huge bungalows and everything like that. So Agastya Muni, he was very impressed by the fact of this kingdom's and the king's dealings with the accounts. So they actually they decided to go to the neighboring king, and this king's name was Vradhanaswa. So this king Vradhanaswa, they actually went and did the same exact thing. They saw the accounts of this kingdom too, and they found that there is not a single penny to spare. So now they went on to the third person. They went on to the third person. So people say third time's the charm. So they went on to the third person. And this king's name was Trashadasyu. And Trashadasyu actually had the same condition. So all three of these kingdoms were using their accounts perfectly, and they were on really good friendship terms. So from these three kingdoms, we can understand one thing. A country, it should not divide. There should not be more flags, but there should be less flags. And that is basically union. Of course, we all know the peace formula of the Bhagavad Gita, which is the universal peace formula 5.29 Bhoktaram Yaganatapasam. So, based on these three countries, we should understand one thing based on these three kingdoms. Firstly, all the tax rupees should be at work and they should be used for people's welfare, which is not possible in modern day. And the second thing is there should be close matrimonial and there should be close relations between trade relations and anything like that between the kingdoms. If this kind of a world is present, then there would be no poverty, nothing, anything like that. And everyone would be happy basically. But this kind of world is not possible in the Kali Yuga at this day and age. So the greed for money is more than the the overall benefiting of the society. So this third person, Trashadayu, King Trashadayu, he actually had an idea, but it was a way to get a lot of money, but it was a very dangerous way. So there was a nearby kingdom, and this kingdom was named actually it was named Manipat Manimat Patana. So this kingdom, it was actually ruled by two siblings. One of them was Ilvala, and the second one was Vatak. So Ilvala was actually the father of Balvala, and Balvara was actually a demon which came in Krishna's time in the Dwapar Yuga, when Lord Balram, when he was actually in exile, Balvala actually had came to attack Lord Balram, and Balramji he actually killed Balvala. So the father of Balvala was Ilvala, and Ilvala and Vatapi were brothers, siblings. So they actually had some illusionary powers and demonic powers, which they used to get guests. They used to get kingdoms, other kings, and everyone, and they would actually devour these kings, and then finally take the whole treasury of that kingdom and leave that kingdom in ruins. So by this, they Ilvala and Vatapi, they had amassed a lot of money in their treasury, and it was to the point where their treasury was overflowing. So these are the kind of kingdoms we should not take example of, and we should try not to. These are the type of countries which should not exist. So Agastya Muni, he came with the three sages, and he actually told that he actually Ilvala and Vatapi, they had actually invited Agastya Muni and the three kings in order to have a quick dinner or lunch or something like that, in order to uh, in order to help them, in order to invite them for a banquet or something like that. So Vatapi and Ilvala, they actually had a trick. So what Vatapi would do, he would actually serve the finest dishes, but actually Vatapi, he was actually mixed inside the dish. So whenever the person had actually eaten everything, Vatapi would be inside the person's stomach, and from there he would kill the person. And Ilvala, on the other hand, he would actually basically Ilvala, he would serve the food and make them it look make the delicacies. So as soon as the table was full of so many dishes and sweet dishes, Agastya Muni, he simply told the three kings, do not even think about touching the food. So then Ilvala was very disappointed because his guests were not eating any of their food. So he asked the three kings, what happened? Why are you not eating? So the three kings told that our guru, he is on a fast, so he doesn't eat much, but when he does eat something, he has a huge appetite. So he will need everything he got in order to satisfy his appetite, because he will be breaking his fast now. So immediately, Agastya Muni, he started eating everything there, everything. So then Invala, after seeing this in such quick pace, after seeing Agastya Muni eating at such a quick pace, Invala was so happy, and he was laughing. He was laughing like a barbaric fellow. So Nirmala, he was actually laughing very loudly, and these three kings, they were very scared of them because after seeing this. So after some time, this laughing had stopped. Ilvala was looking at Agastya Muni as if he was some kind of person. So Ilvala was looking at him as if he was some kind of monster. So after seeing this, Ilvala told something, Vatapi, come out. So then the three kings understood what happened. Vatapi was actually inside this, inside the Agastya Muni's stomach. Then Agastya Muni, he let out a huge birth, and he told Vatapi is digested. And in actual words, if you see it, it's actually called in Sanskrit, if you say it, it's actually he actually heard a long sound, a screeching sound, a tearing sound. And Ilvala was very scared by this. And he kept shouting, Vatapi, come out, Vatapi, come out. But there was no sign of Vatapi. And there were so many tearing noises. And finally, Agastya Muni, he started laughing and said, Vatapi, Janobhava, which means Vatapi is digested. So at this, Ilvala was aghast seeing that Vatapi had been digested so easily. And Ilvala got his sword and came to attack the Muni. So Agastya Muni, he just told one thing. He just said Om, and Ilvala was dead then and there. So finally, they had amassed so much of wealth from this, and because of such a huge treasury that this kingdom had actually had, Agastya Muni decided he would also give some to these three neighboring kingdoms because of their help in doing all this. So finally, as soon as the building of the palace and everything was done with the pure gold and anything like that, finally Lopamudra agreed and they so Lopamudra actually had an option here. She could either had she could either have 10,000 sons or 1,000 sons with the power of 10 sons, or 100 sons with the power of 100 sons, or 10 sons with the power of 10,000 people, or one person with the power of 1 lakh people. So this was the options that Lopamudra had got. And Lopamudra, she was actually very smart in dealing with this decision. So she actually took the most logical choice, and that is the last one, which is having one son which had the power of 10,000 people. So having 10,000 sons was not really anything good or any, because they were not powerful. But if there is one son, even though the quantity is less, the quality is more, that is more than enough. So the problem with having like 10 sons and which have the power of 1,000 people. The problem there is that there could be fights uh, for being the head of Agastya Muni and Lopamudra. So for seeing this, Lopamudra, she took the right decision of having only one son. And after a few months, the gestation period had completed, and the son was born. And Agastya Muni, he went back to the same places where there were corpses before. And now, as soon as he entered there, he felt ethereal music, and he actually felt a shower of flowers which flew on him. So, this was also Agastya Muni. There was also something else that he did, which I actually foreshadowed before, and that was he actually drank a whole ocean. So, at this time, Lord Indra, he actually bent upon defeating the Vritasura, who was actually a Brahmana. So at this time, when they asked help from when the demigods had asked help from Lord Vishnu had directed them to Dadichi Muni. So Lord Vishnu always directs the demigods to many powerful sages. So this time, the demigods they had won against Vritasura, and the supporters of Vritasura, they were actually called the Kalakeyas. So these Kalakeyas, they were very troublesome, and they always used to create havoc in forests and destroy the sages' ashram or anything like that. And these ashrams and everything, they had sages. So these sages, they used to worship the demigods. So after seeing that the demigods could do nothing to these Kalakeyas, they were actually losing hope. And the reason they could do nothing is because these Kalakayas, they actually used to hide under the ocean. And so in this ocean, it was not the demigod's natural habitat, and the Kalakayas could get advantage here, and they could go back to hiding in the ocean. So in order to fix this problem, the demigods, they again approached Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu had directed them to the Agastya Muni. So in order to so Agastya Muni was all ears for the demigods, and the demigods expressed their the situation they were having right now. And Agastya Muni, he immediately went and he went back and he went to the ocean and he simply drank up the whole ocean as if it was a small drop of water. So it was basically like the Kalakiyas were stark naked now because there was no water. And immediately they were exposed and they couldn't understand anything that happened. And in such confusion and doubt, the demigods immediately they went and slashed the Kalakiyas. Now these demigods they had a question. How do we revert the ocean back to how it was? Then Agastya Muni told that it was digested. Now I cannot fill the ocean back in. So the demigods, they were in wonder, they were aghast because now there was no ocean and there would be no tides or anything. The functioning of the earth would stop. So then Lord Vishnu he again came and told that you do not worry because Lord Shiva and there was another person, Sage Janu. Yeah, the Lord Shiva and Sage Janu, they would actually bring the Ganga River from heavens, and this void, this place of void, will be filled by that river. So the demigods were not a worry here. So and then Agastya Muni was also the creator of the Tamil language. So and this Tamil language, it was actually Lord Brahma, he had actually asked Agastya Muni to actually spread the culture of the south of India, the south of Bharatvarsh. So at this time, Agastya Muni, he actually invented a new language called Tamil. And this Tamil language, it was actually later given as a gift to Lord Rama. So at this time, Lord Rama had received many gifts from Agastya Muni. And one of them was especially good. And that was he actually gave an inexhaustible quiver of arrows. So there was a pouch of arrows which would never be exhausted. It will keep on refilling. And out of these, all of these arrows, there was one special arrow, and it was actually a golden arrow. And this arrow would actually kill any target it was required to do so, and it would go to the ocean and it would wash itself and it would come back into the wave. And if we later see, this was the same arrow that was used to kill Vali. So Agastya Muni he directed the Rama and Lakshmana to Panchavati because this was so Panchavati was basically Nashik and in this Maharashtra area, south to Surat and north to Mumbai. So this place of Nashik is where we will be going on with the next half of the lecture. So when they came to Panchavati, they actually met the great vulture Jatayu. So there were only two of these great vultures, and they were Sampati and Jatayu. So uh, there were only 3 years left now before they could go back to Ayodhya. And there was one harsh condition for Lord Ramana because as soon as the 14 years are done, on the next day he has to return to Ayodhya immediately, or Bharat Maharaj he would enter the fire. This is what Bharat Maharaj had actually set for himself. So in this, they were actually bathing in the river near Lord Rama. Lord Rama and Lakshman, they were bathing in a river, and this river was actually named Godavari. Let's see the river right here around this place. This was the river. So uh, the river's name was Godavari River. So in this river, during the peak of winter time, it was a very cold river. But north from that place was actually the Sarayu River, which was actually the place near Ayodhya, this Sarayu River. And this Sarayu River, which was actually the place of the river of Ayodhya, this was actually even more colder. This river was maybe 10, 20 times colder than the Godavari River. So, uh, Lord Rama, he actually, when he was bathing in this, Lakshman actually reminded of him of the austerities that Bharat Maharaj was actually taking down the river. He used to wake up at around 2 or 3 in the morning, 2 hours before the Brahma Muhurta period, and he would go and take a bath in the Sarayu River, although it was ice freezing cold, and he considered himself inauspicious because of this. So he went before actually woke. So this is exactly what so this is exactly what he did every day, and he slept one step lower. He slept one step lower. He dug himself into a pit and he slept in that pit because Lord Rama was sleeping on the floor. So he wanted to one step lower than Lord Rama. And then in the same way, he even worshipped Lord Rama's sandals and carried out the affairs from Nandigram. So even he decided to accept this boon and stay outside the kingdom and manage it from there. And during this time, Bharat Maharaj, he actually even did something else. So Bharat Maharaj, he was actually expanding Ayodhya rapidly. So Lakshmana, he actually predicted something that he predicted that Ayodhya would be 3 times the size when they would go back home to Ayodhya. So Lakshmana, he actually did something here after ending this lecture. So Lakshmana, he actually told for he actually spoke bad about Kaikeyi. So this Lord Rama was immediately furious about this. So he actually told Lakshmana that when you are speaking good about someone, what is the requirement to speak bad about another? So this was exactly what Lord Rama understood again. Lord Lakshmana understood again, and it was an important which Lord Lakshman understood. So after this, there was actually Shurpanak who actually had lost her husband's life, and she was actually one of the sister of Ravana and Khara and everyone. So they were actually these siblings. They were actually the rulers of the demonic forces at this time, and Trilokeshwar, who was actually Lord Ravana. So Ravana, he was actually the king of Lanka, and this time they actually had an outpost near Panchavati, which was actually named Janasthana. So Shurpanaka, she was walking around the forest of Panchavati, looking for some innocent sages to target. And then she actually saw Lord Rama, who was actually the perfect and the most beautiful person on earth. So, so actually, then this so Lord Rama, he wanted to just have fun with this demon and just leave her like this. So, but they were actually encouraging this kind of wicked activities, this wicked Shurpanaka. And so Lord Rama told that I already have a wife named Mother Sita and she is very beautiful. So you see my brother here. He's very beautiful and he is still at the peak of his youth. Why don't you take him for marriage? So Shurpanaka didn't see this as a bad idea either, but she took it seriously. And after um, seeing Lakshmana, so after understanding what Rama was doing here, he also did the same. No, 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 no. My brother is way more qualified than me. If you marry me, then you will be the servant of Mother Sita because I am the servant of Lord Rama. So Shurpanaka, she went back at she was going to actually kill Mother Sita and take Lord Rama for himself. So Lord Rama got very angry here, and he told Lakshman Dev to just quickly just harm this demon because it was clearly not understanding the joke that they were making. So immediately, within a fraction of a second, Lakshman Dev, with his sword, he actually cut Shurpanaka's nose. And that's why this place was actually known as Nashik, because of Nashik actually means the nose which is cut or something like that. So that's why this Panchavati, this place, actually got a new name which is called Nashik. So Lord Rama, he was worried now because he actually sparked a fire in the forest of the demons. So now he couldn't wait for what all actually would happen. So Shurpanaka, she immediately went crying to and fake crying to Kara and told actually what happened to her. And Kara, he was the actually the outpost leader. He was the Janastan outpost leader, and he actually went there and quickly Shurpanaka went and quickly spoke bad about Kara to make him in order to go in order and fight Lord Rama and bring him forever. So at this time, Rama he actually asks Lakshmana to step aside and ask him to handle this. Ask him to let him handle this fight on his own. So there was actually a reason for this. So Lakshmana he just went to the cave and he was actually protecting Mother Sita. So this was actually proving chivalry to Mother Sita because 13 years ago, this was the last year, by the way. So 13 years ago, uh, no, 30, okay, 11 years ago, 11 years ago, Mother Sita had actually challenged Rama and questioned his chivalry, his manliness. So this was a time to prove his chivalry because in all the fights that they have encountered until now, all of them were between both. They were both Rama and Lakshmana. So this was finally a time for Lord Rama to prove to Mother Sita. So it was a very tough battle. It was one against 14,000 people. So it was basically 14,000, an army of 14,000 versus Lord Rama. So these people, they immediately started the battle, and the all of these guards they were shooting volleys of arrows, but Lord Rama, he strung the bow so fast that he could counter the arrows of 14,000 people, and in the same time he could kill thousands and thousands of people at the same time. So Lord Rama, he actually had a bell, and this bell it would actually ring. It would ring every time 100 people were killed. So for these demons, it was very painful for both physically and mentally hearing this bell and the torture with these arrows. So they thought that there were thousands of people behind Rama who were shooting volleys. So after this, the death of Kara, there was two people that needed to be informed, and one of them was Mother Sita, and was the second was Ravana, who would be later informed. So now Lakshmana he actually let Mother Sita actually see the last part of the battle, and then actually what happened at the last part is Kara he actually came in the sword with his sword, and he was about to severe Lord Rama's head. At this time, Lord Rama he knew that he didn't have enough time to strung his bow. So Lord Rama, he did something very unexpected here. So he actually took a step back, and then he shot the arrow, and Kara was spotted. And Mother Sita, she actually ran down the mountain so quickly, and she went to embrace Lord Rama. But Lord Rama had actually turned away from Mother Sita and looked across. So then Sita understood what actually happened, and Sita understood what actually had happened why Lord Rama was like this, and that is why Mother Sita, she actually apologized and told that you are indeed worthy of a husband. So that Lord Rama, he actually had a fear now because after starting this war with the demons, what more could happen to this three, or what would happen to them? So among all these people, among all the 4,000 army, there was only one general who was left alive, and he managed to disguise himself out. So he actually went back to Lanka and he disguised himself as a woman, and he came into the courtroom. So as soon as all the court people and courtiers and everyone they saw Akampana dressed as this, they were actually laughing because Akampana was actually one of the most revered person in Lanka, one of the most intelligent person. So, but soon the laughter faded out because Akampana was actually shaking with fear, and it was not something very much to laugh at. So, uh, at this time, Ravana he asked Akampana what had actually happened, and Akampana he just like two words. He just told two words, and the entire court it had actually went down in shambles, and that was Janasthana destroyed. So everyone was so shocked and surprised because Janasthana was the outpost of Kara and Dushana, and they were very strong demons. So among all this, Ravana was getting very angry here. Who was it? One person, or uh, who was it? Lord Indra, Lord Agni, or who was it? So Ravana immediately understood the knowledge of Lord Rama, and he immediately wanted to go, and he was bent upon defeating Lord Rama. Akampana saw through this right away and could see that Lord Rama could indeed defeat Ravana easily. So so Akampana, he actually gave, at the end, he actually gave a smile. And Ravana, he actually knew this smile because Akampana was his uncle. And whenever Akampana used to smile like this, there was actually a sinister plan which was cooking up, which could work. And basically, Akampana, he actually gave the knowledge about Mother Sita, the most beautiful person existing. And Ravana, he actually had uh, Ravana, he actually had a desire for so many women. So they actually came up with a plan to abduct Sita at this time. So they went to Maricha, who could actually shapeshift into the form of a golden deer. But as soon as Ravana entered the Maricha's house, it was not like what he actually expected. It was actually a person in yellow robes, orange robes, and he was actually having matted locks and everything like that. It was actually a sannyas. Actually, the Maricha, because of his fear, he actually went to the point of becoming sannyasi, and he was so scared of Rama that anything that started with Ra, like Ram, Ravana, or anything like that. Even Ravana's name, he was scared to talk about it now. So at this time, Ravana was bent upon just going with Maricha and abducting the woman. And but Ravana and Maricha tried pleaded to Ravana to convince him that he would come, and he even told he Maricha even brought light to many painful curses that had actually happened to Ravana, and many of these curses were that there would be a person from the Solar dynasty who would actually come and destroy the people of Lanka and everyone there. So seeing this, Ravana got very angry, and he threatened with his Chandrahasa sword. And so uh, Maricha thought that it was best to die at the hands of Lord Rama rather than at the hands of cruel Ravana. So this plan was to carry out. So this golden deer, it had actually appeared before um, it actually appeared before Mother Sita, and uh, Mother Sita, she immediately saw this golden deer and asked Rama to bring this golden deer for him. So for her. So this Lakshmana saw right through who this was, and it was actually doubted. Lakshmana, he actually doubted that this was Maricha, and it was actually Maricha, and this was because this deer had actually let out a different scent, and all the other deers, they actually so animals. One thing the animals have. So almost every animal, although we think that they are of low intelligence or anything like that, almost every animal, they have a keen sense of smell and recognition. So if you see a dog, for example, or a cat, so any pet basically, it can smell the hand of its owner, and it can identify the owner, and it can perform some such actions. So these animals, they always go in packs. For example, wolves go up and hunt in packs, and so they always never leave anyone behind. So they always know who is true and who is fake. So these deer, these normal deer, they also could see that this was not a golden deer, it was a fake deer. It was in disguise. And Lakshmana saw this and he knew this. But uh, Mother Sita just decided to stop this. And Rama, he decided that he would go far and get this. And indeed, if it was Maricha, then it would be great in order to annihilate him, because many previous times he was actually not able. Lord Rama was not able to kill Maricha. So the golden deer, it had actually gone far. It was running very fast away from Lord Rama, and Lord Rama, at this point, he understood that this was Maricha. And Maricha, he was actually playing with his life here. So sometimes he'd appear in front of Lord Rama, then he would suddenly disappear. And this was what actually gave away it to Lord Rama. So he shot at an arrow, and it was going at blinding pace to kill Maricha. And just before Maricha had died, he actually shouted 4 words. Hey Sita, hey Lakshmana. He told this loudly, and the entire forest could hear this. And Lord Rama, he was so aghast at seeing this. And Maricha even attained the heavens because he died at the hands of Lord Rama. So, seeing this, Mother Sita, she was actually very scared hearing this. But she had asked Lakshmana to go and check on Lord Rama, but it was actually not Lord Rama who needed security, but it was Mother Sita herself. So Mother Sita had kept on heaving so much insult that Lakshmana at that point couldn't bear anything like that. So it is said that an offense can be committed at the actions, by the mind, or by words. So here, Mother Sita was committing the action by words. She was committing the insult by words, and this actually shattered Lakshmana. Even after so much time, so much dedication and to Mother Sita, even not sleeping for a single day for all these 11 years, Mother Sita still had doubts on Lakshmana. So Lakshmana decided, and he told one thing. He told, "Okay, mother, I'm going to Lord Rama, but let me tell you this: when we both come back, you will not be here for us." And then this sage, he actually came as soon as Lakshmana had left. So this sage, it was Mother Sita's duty in order to uh, um, in order to give a good reception to any guest to the house. So Mother Sita, they were actually talking about demons here. And this stage, he actually overly talked about demons and saying how good the demons were. And Mother Sita, she could see that this was not really a sage. There was something not right about this sage, because this was not the sages don't go in discussion about demons like this. So finally, Ravana had shed his skin and actually kidnapped Sita and left there. So Mother Sita, she actually felt very regretful after this. Even after she recalled the such the insult and the exact words that she told Lakshman Dev, even after so much of his austerities and everything and his dedication to Lord Rama and Sita. So Mother Sita, she was very regretful of asking such a reckless request this time. So at this time, there were actually two siblings. So there were actually different levels of the sky. Of course, in our school, we learned that there are five levels of the atmosphere. What are those five levels? Troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. So, actually, these levels exist even in the Vedic texts. So, at the first place, at the first level, there were normal birds and everything like that. And then the the phase after that, there were actually eagles and vultures like that. And on the phase above that, it was actually coming into the heavenly regions, and it was where the plains, it was where the heavenly plains and everything they used to go. This was basically the stratosphere. So, and then above all of these, it was the place of Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva, he actually used to hover and he didn't go by any plane. So Lord Shiva was a step higher than the heavenly plane. So above Lord Shiva, there were two siblings, Jatayu and Sampati. These were the two vultures. So these two vultures, they were actually the sons of Aruna. So Aruna was actually the charioteer of the sun god. So being a charioteer, um, he actually, so there was actually a misconception which is there till date in science. It is whether the earth, it revolves around the sun, or the sun revolves around the earth. Now, science is constantly changing and it is relative. There is nothing absolute in it, so we cannot believe in science. So there were many theories given before and so many stuff like that, but all of that is not true. So there is just one thing we need to understand. It is basically, the sun is basically a chariot. Okay, there is basically a chariot. The sun is basically a chariot. So this chariot basically, it was actually Aruna, and the Aruna would actually have chariot around the earth so many times, and this was actually the basically the day and night cycle. So Aruna, he never really gets a holiday because he constantly had the work of being the sun and moving around the earth constantly. So these siblings, they actually went up to meet their son, but they got separated. So so Jatayu, who was actually one of these siblings, he actually had immense power as the but so he was the last beacon of hope. So so this was the he was the last beacon of hope. So Mother Sita, she told Jatayu, please go bring Lord Rama here, Lord Lakshman here. Please go get them quickly. Please do not engage in fight because Ravana is very strong. But Jatayu, he couldn't stand there just simply. And Jatayu, he couldn't do that because he is not that kind of person. So he immediately attacked Ravana, and after a long fight, uh, both of them were severely injured. Ravana was also severely injured. Jatayu had put up a tough fight, and Ravana had actually put up a tough fight, and so Ravana he actually defeated Jatayu with the sword. So Jatayu was here, and he was a witness to all this that had happened. He was actually a wounded witness, and finally, his final message, he actually relayed the message to Lord Rama and Lord Lakshman, and he actually gave the final message. So at this time, Lord Rama and Lakshman, they were completely broken, and they were just they didn't know, they were walking around aimlessly in the forest, and they encountered us. So while they were walking peacefully in the serene atmosphere of the forest, Lord Rama, he was actually comparing everything with the beauty of Mother Sita. The petals of rose, lilies, peacocks, everything he was comparing with Mother Sita. So then there was a strong gush of wind, and they Lord Rama and Lakshmana, they felt grabbed, and they were going into somewhere, and they were feeling sucked into something, and they came across Kadamba, who was actually uh, a demon with no eyes, no head, no ears, but only with one mouth and a stomach and two hands to grab something to eat. So this Kadamba, he was actually a very strong demon. And immediately Lord Rama, after a constant struggle, they finally beat Kadamba, and they were actually ready to hear the backstory. So Kadamba was also actually Kadamba was also a Gandharva, just like Virada before Tumburu. So he was actually this specific Gandharva. Uh, he was actually the son of the king of of the Gandharvas, who was actually Tumbu. And so after hearing of this, because of some fault before, he was actually condemned to take this form of life. So Kadamba, before leaving his body, he actually told that he gave directions to Lord Rama, and he actually told that there was actually a big surprise, and that was actually Shabari. Um, Shabari was actually the disciple of Matang Rishi, and Matang Rishi's ashram, although it has been 13 years since Matang Rishi had actually last visited the ashram. It had been so long since Matang Rishi had gone, but Shabari was still waiting for Lord Rama here and living her life in accord to her spiritual master. So after count, so in the pains of separation from Mother Sita, with Shabari, Lord Rama forgot about all those pains, and he actually spent a lot of quality time with Shabari. So finally, at last, before Shabari gave up her body and attained a spiritual form, there was actually one last beacon of hope which they had, and that was actually the instructions of Shabari, and they were led to the mountain of. They were actually led to a mountain. This mountain was actually special because this mountain's name it actually had a long this mountain, it was called Rishi Mountain, and because of a curse given out by Matan Rishi, this had become the home to five people, and these these five monkeys, they were actually residing on this mountain. So they were Shabari directed Lord Rama to these Vanaras, and the name of the Vanara, what does a word? So Vanara actually translates to are they human? So later on in the next kanda, which is Kishkinda Kanda of the Valmiki Ramayana, we will continue in the next part, which is part 4. Hare Krishna. Thank you, and please forgive me for the long lecture and long slides. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Nana.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
రామాయణం మా తెలుసు అనుకుంటున్నాం నాన్న నుంచి ఎంత ఉందా ఈ రామాయణంలో ఏంటేంటో కొత్త విషయాలు ఎక్కడ విననే కానీ ఏంటేంటో చెప్తున్నాం. వెరీ నైస్ నాన్న, ప్లీజ్ గో హెడ్ అండ్ మొత్తం చెప్తే మేము కూడా నేర్చుకుంటున్నాం.
థ్యాంక్ యూ మాతాజీ.
హరే కృష్ణమ్మ, ప్లీజ్ సార్ కంటిన్యూ.
హరే కృష్ణ అనంత ప్రభుజీ.
హరే కృష్ణ మాతాజీ.
చాలా 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 చక్కగా చెప్పారు అనంత ప్రభుజీ. మీకు ఇంత వయసులో ఎంత చక్కగా చెప్పడం వచ్చినందుకు చాలా హ్యాపీగా ఉంది. మేమైతే ఎందుకు పనికిరాము. నిజంగా ప్రభుజీ, మీ కుటుంబం అంతా చక్కగా కృష్ణ కాన్షియస్ లో చాలా ముందుకు వెళ్ళిపోతున్నారు. ఇంకా ముందుకు వెళ్ళాలని ఆశీర్వదిస్తున్నాను నాన్న. హరే కృష్ణ. సరే హరే
కృష్ణ. హరే కృష్ణ.
హరే కృష్ణ.
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ, అనంత ప్రభుజీ.
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ. అందుతున్నాను.
చాలా డీటెయిల్డ్ గా, చాలా డెప్త్ కి వెళ్ళి తెలియని విషయాలు. జనరల్ గా రామాయణం అంటే ఏయో మెయిన్ థింగ్స్, కానీ ఇంత డెప్త్ కి వెళ్ళి చెప్పడం అనేది చాలా గ్రేట్. రియల్లీ వండర్ఫుల్ ప్రభుజీ. కీప్ ఇట్ అప్. హోల్ ఎంటైర్ యువర్ ఫ్యామిలీ in real bhakti and service a lot. Is a really appreciable Prabhuji. Thank you once again. Hare Krishna.
థ్యాంక్ యూ ప్రభుజీ. హరే కృష్ణ.
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ, అనంత ప్రభుజీ. మా గురువు స్థానంలో ఉండి ఇవాళ ఇంత డీటెయిల్ గా ఎప్పుడు వినని లోతైన విషయాలు చెప్పినందుకు థ్యాంక్స్ బాబు. నిజంగా మీ యొక్క అసలు ఇప్పుడే ఇంత ఇదిగా పరిపూర్ణంగా ఒక శాస్త్రాన్ని, అంటే కొన్ని విషయాలు లోతుగా స్టడీ చేసి ఇంత ఓపిక వచ్చినందుకు భగవంతుడు మీకు ఇంకా చాలా చాలా భవిష్యత్తు ఉండాలని కోరుతున్నాను తండ్రి. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Nice.